Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is an action movie review and I'll be having a look at the movie Nick of Time. So Nick of Time is probably one of these more forgotten about action films that unfortunately I think maybe deserves a bit of a second look. Now it stars Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken, so you've got some pretty decent talent in front of the camera here. And one of the most interesting things about this film is it's shot in real time. So if you're a fan of 24 and you kind of understand what I mean by like a real time film, this is like this pretty much anyway. Now the actual plot of the story is a young man played by Johnny Depp, Mr. Watson, and he's coming to a town for I think an interview or something, and he's got his young daughter there, and there's some bad guys who basically want to have a kind of like a politician murdered, and they're kind of led by Christopher Walken, or he's kind of in charge of this operation. And their plan is to basically just to grab someone, kidnap their loved one, and force them to do this assassination. And of course, they kidnap Johnny Depp's little girl, and essentially go say, right, you've got 90 minutes or whatever to go and kill this presidential candidate or this sort of politician who's this sort of female senator or what have you. Otherwise, we're going to kill your little girl. So that's the story really. Ultimately, it's just what's he going to do? Very, very much. It plays a lot like 24, but obviously Johnny Depp character, he's not he's not a government agent. He hasn't got any sort of combat experience or anything like that. So it's kind of like an amateur 24, but in 90 minutes. So if you're a fan of 24, then I think you would like this. It's a very similar sort of feel to the film than that TV show. But I really liked Christopher Walken in this film. I actually think he gave one of his best performances, in my personal opinion. I loved his character in this, and he's got some really quotable lines, and he's kind of, Christopher Walken has this very sort of distinctive sort of voice and the way he sort of delivers lines, and he's like proper on form on this one. And it's also nice to see Johnny Depp in a kind of a more traditional role. I think Johnny Depp has this sort of tendency to take these kind of weird characters, especially these days. And he's done very, very few of these kind of what I would call more traditional sort of style action hero type roles. He likes his sort of eccentric characters, but this one it's a lot more reined in. It's a lot more natural, and I think he gives a good performance as this kind of like this worried dad who's kind of he doesn't know what's going to happen. And he's just panicking ultimately, but he doesn't know what to do. Now I won't tell you that the whole plot of the film. Suffice to say, he's just trying to find a way not to kill this presidential candidate and sort of save his daughter, but time's running out, and Christopher Walken is always like breathing down his neck. Now, I really enjoyed this film. There's not a lot I can say that is a bad point in here. The premise may be a little bit silly, I suppose, but other than that, if you can kind of accept that, I think this is a fantastic film. If you like action films, there's not loads of action in it. I guess it's more of a thriller than an action film, I have to say. And there's kind of almost like an indiscriminate amount of people in on it. There's some people behind the scenes. It's never really made clear as to how many of these people are actually involved, and it kind of leaves it a little bit open-ended. And I think it still holds up well today. It's getting on a bit now, but you can watch it today and you won't really notice, maybe apart from the sort of the fashions and things like that, and the sort of quality of the sort of images you'll see. But it's a great film, even by today's standards. So I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If you like your thrilling action films, if you're a fan of 24, check it out because you're going to get a kick out of this film. Leave me a comment if you've seen it and let me know what you think. Bye for now.